everyone! Hope you're doing well. Life can be really tough sometimes. When things get hard, it really hurts, doesn't it? It's the same for me too. So I started wondering, why does it feel so painful when we go through tough times? I've been thinking about that lately, and I wanted to share a bit of my own thoughts. That's why I decided to make this video. So let's get started. I prepared something that looks a bit like a science experiment. In Japanese, the word taihen, which means hard time, is written with the characters that mean big and change. People often say when things are tough, it's because you are about to go through a big change. I used to think that meant your situation was changing, like your surroundings or circumstances. But recently, I started to wonder, maybe it's not just our situation that changes. Our capacity as a human being that grows and transforms. Here, I have two cups, a small one and a large one. Right now, there's some water in this small cup. When we were children, I think all of us had small cups, small hearts, small minds, small capacity to handle things. This small cup is now full. In other words, it's completely filled. That's kind of like when your heart feels full, isn't it? You feel calm, at peace, everything feels just right. And when it gets even fuller, like now, there's surface tension forming on top. But once it goes beyond the point, look, it starts to spill over. You can see a few drops overflowing onto the plate. I think this represents something important. When your own heart is full and content, the part that overflows is what you can give to others. That's when you can truly start contributing, sharing something good with the people around you. Now, let's think about this small cup again. When we go through something really difficult, when our inner cup, our capacity as a person, grows bigger. So let's see what happens when a small cup of water is poured into this large one. Look, what used to be completely full now looks almost empty. There's so much space left inside. That's what happens when your cup, your heart, your beings expands. And that's why I think difficult times feel so painful, because we are not filled anymore. When we feel that something's missing, when we feel empty or incomplete, that's when the pain comes, I think. But don't worry about it. This emptiness will always be filled again. Why? Because whenever we go through hard times, we become wiser. We learn new things, gain new insights, and little by little, the bigger cup of our heart starts to fill up again. Of course, there are people who don't really learn or try new things, who don't take on challenges. But even so, little by little, day by day, their cup still starts to fill. And when we do make an effort, when we keep trying, the water fills even faster. Still, it's not enough right away, is it? Of course not, because we've grown from this tiny cup to a much bigger one. It's only natural that it takes time. We never know how long it will take, but one thing is certain, bit by bit, every single day, it will be filled again. And finally, when the cup becomes full again, you feel calm, fulfilled, and your days start to overflow with a quiet happiness. Then as even more water is added, what happens next? Surface tension begins to form. It holds on for a while, but eventually it overflows. And naturally, the water that spills over, that's the part you can give to others because you yourself are already full. That's the moment when a new stage begins, a time to share what you have to contribute to the people around you. Now, let's take a look at these glasses. When I was using the small cup, this is about how much overflowed. And when I used a large cup, this is how much overflowed. It's clear, isn't it? When our cup, our capacity is small, what we can give to others is also limited. But as we grow as human beings, the amount we can give increases too. The tricky part is, when we are going through tough times, when we are in the middle of the growth, we can't really see how big we've become. We don't know how much we've grown. So earlier, I compared it from this small cup to this larger one, But when we are really, truly going through the hardest times, it's not just this much of change. Maybe it's this much. If our cup becomes that big, of course it's not going to be filled right away. It's going to take a long time. We might even wonder how long it will take to feel full again. If we'd grown into someone with such a large bowl, or even larger than that, imagine how many people we'll be able to give to, how much kindness, wisdom, and love we'll be able to share once it finally overflows. Hard times are painful because we are not full yet. There's emptiness inside, and that's what makes it hurt. But day by day, as our hearts slowly fill again, the water rises. And when we finally reach the point where our hearts are truly full, what overflows from there, the part we can give to others, might be far greater than we could have ever imagined. The harder life feels, the more you grow inside. You'll be able to help even more people in the future. So even when life feels really hard, when you don't know what to do anymore, I hope you'll remember this little experiment. To be honest, even now, after the pandemic, I still have many days when I think life is tough, things are still hard. But when I feel that way, I remind myself like this: it's okay, I'm just growing. My cup, my inner self is expanding, and maybe it's not just this big, maybe it's this big, or even this big, maybe as big as a bucket. That's how I encourage myself, by thinking big. The bigger your bowl becomes, the more people you'll be able to help in the future. That's what I choose to believe, and that's why I keep going. So if any of you are going through a tough time right now, would you try hanging in there a little longer together with me? Maybe you're already right at the edge. Maybe you're at your very limit, just at the point of surface tension, where everything could overflow at any moment. We can't really know exactly when that moment will come. But one thing is certain: someday, without a doubt, you will be full again. As long as you're alive, you'll keep filling up little by little every single day. So let's keep going, believing that one day we'll have enough inside us to bring happiness to many others. That's all for today. I just wanted to share my thoughts on why difficult times can feel so painful and what they might really mean. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video helps you reflect on yourself and your relationships with the people around you. I hope it brings you peace and inspires you to be kind to others. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.